You ever wake up to 18 inches of snow and realize that your entire neighborhood's about to riot over snowplowing? Yeah, I didn't think so. Most people worry about missing their morning coffee, not being the main character in an HOA showdown at 6 a.m., fielding frantic texts while watching a blizzard bury the street. If you told me 4 years ago that this would be my life, I'd have laughed, poured another cup, and gone back to bed. But here I am, the unofficial snow guy of Oak Ridge Meadows, and this winter, thanks to a new rule, my hands are tied. Let me give you the lay of the land. I'm Frank. I moved to this peaceful Vermont subdivision after my divorce, thinking I was buying into simple living. 30 houses tucked off Route 7, just close enough to Burlington for takeout, but far enough out that you can actually see the stars, at least when Barbara isn't polluting the night with her porch lights. When I first got here, the HOA was just a couple of folks collecting dues, paying for a new sign, and organizing one half-hearted block party a year. Nobody cared if your mailbox matched or if your grass was a little wild, you just did your thing. But then Barbara arrived. And wow, if you ever want a lesson in what unchecked power looks like in suburbia, just wait for a woman with a "can I speak to your manager" haircut to get bored. She moved in 2 doors down after her husband landed a job at UVM, and within months she'd wormed her way onto every committee, then right into the presidency. She started out small, new neighborhood watch uniform mailboxes. Fine. Then it got creative suddenly: no Christmas lights before Thanksgiving, no cars on the street overnight, and God help you if you mowed your lawn before 9 on a Saturday. Her reason was always the same. We have to maintain property values and present a unified, respectful community image, as if a plastic flamingo on someone's lawn is going to tank the entire market. Then came the snowplow rule. I'd always plowed the loop with my old Chevy, and a beat-up blade never asked for a dime. City won't do it, private road, you know the deal. If I didn't, people got stuck. Kids missed the bus. Folks missed work. So one morning I'm out there at 5:30, clearing the way, as usual, when Barbara comes stomping out in her pink bathrobe and duck boots, looking like the villain in a made-for-TV holiday movie. She's banging on my truck window before I can even put it in park. "What do you think you're doing?" she screeches, and you can literally see her breath hanging in the freezing air. I told her just plowing like I always do. "It's 7 in the morning, people are trying to sleep," she says. Meanwhile, every other neighbor's already outside scraping windshields, coffee in hand, grateful as hell the road's clear. I try explaining the school bus comes at 7:45. People need to leave for work. "That's not the point," she snaps. "You're making excessive noise during quiet hours." And apparently she's had complaints. But who complained? That's confidential. By the end of the week, we get an official letter: no gas-powered equipment before 8 a.m., including plows, with a $250 fine for the first offense, $500 for the second, and potential legal action for repeat violators. I called a meeting at my place. Coffee panic neighbors squeezed onto my couch. "Can she actually enforce this?" someone asks. Marcus, who works at the hospital, has to leave at 6:30. Tom, our lawyer neighbor, though not the kind who deals with HOA stuff, shrugs. The board can basically do what they want as long as they say it's for the common good. But nobody'd actually complained about the snowplowing, not one message, not a single post on the neighborhood Facebook group. This was just Barbara flexing, plain and simple. We drafted a petition. 23 out of 30 households signed. Polite, direct, reasonable. Barbara replied with a 2-line email. The board had discussed the rule, and it would stand. Next meeting not until February. Agenda's full. Your concerns have been noted for future discussion. That's when I realized she wasn't interested in hearing us. The next little snowfall wasn't a big deal, but a week later the weather people started tossing around words like nor'easter and historic totals. I knew what was coming. Tuesday night, snow starts falling hard. I set my alarm, get up at 5, and look outside. A solid 14 inches already, more still coming. I could clear the whole neighborhood in 45 minutes if I started right then. But there's that $250 fine. And the principal. I'd tried talking, tried compromising, tried organizing. None of it mattered to her. So I shut off my truck, went back inside, and waited. 6:30 rolls around and my phone's lighting up like Times Square. "Frank, are you plowing?" "Man, the street's a mess. Can you get it done before the bus?" "My surgery's at 7:30. I need to leave." Every single time I sent back the same thing. HOA rule says no plowing before 8 a.m. I'll be out at 8. The replies: not printable. Some folks couldn't believe it. Others thought I was joking. I sent everyone Barbara's notice. Take it up with the HOA president. I'm not getting fined for being a good neighbor. Marcus actually called me. Frank, I'll lose my job if I'm late again. I told him I was sorry, but maybe if everyone saw just how dumb this rule was, maybe Barbara would finally listen. He went quiet. You're using us as leverage, he said. No, I said I'm following the rules. Isn't that what she wanted? By 7, I could hear people outside, shovels, scraping engines, whining, people swearing. Jennifer tried to get out anyway, made it about 15 feet before her car got stuck sideways. The school bus rumbled in, made it 20 feet past the entrance, and got stuck too. My doorbell rang at 7:40. 5 neighbors on my porch, all cold, all furious. Frank, the bus is stuck. I've got a meeting. The kids are going to miss school. It's 7:40, I said. 20 more minutes and I can legally help. Someone accused me of being petty. I kept calm. I'm following the rules that Barbara and the board set. If you have a problem, call Barbara. We've been calling her. Marcus said she's not answering. Well, maybe she's enjoying her peaceful morning, I deadpanned. At 7:55, Barbara's garage door finally creaked open. Her white SUV made it halfway down the drive and in poetic fashion immediately got stuck right behind Jennifer's car. I sipped my coffee, stepped onto the porch, and watched her stand there, heels slipping in the snow, totally gobsmacked. Jennifer strolled over. Good morning, Barbara. Enjoying the peace, Barbara started barking that this was unacceptable. The bus was still stuck, kids everywhere, cars scattered like abandoned toys. Why hasn't anyone plowed? She demanded. Because there's a rule banning it before 8 a.m. Jennifer said you could cut the sarcasm with a shovel. Barbara started ranting about emergencies and how obviously exceptions could be made, but Tom from his driveway read out loud from the rule. No exceptions. You wrote it yourself. She tried to wave it off. Frank, you can plow now. I looked at my watch. Oh, look at that. 8 a.m. Guess I can. I took my sweet time scraping the truck windows for effect, feeling all those eyes on me. Some relieved, some annoyed, but everyone watching. The snow was heavy. It took almost an hour to clear a path, and by the time I dug out the bus, it was after 9. The driver gave me a tired wave. Honey, this isn't your mess, she said, shooting Barbara a look. That afternoon, the neighborhood exploded. My email inbox filled up. The Facebook group went wild. Everyone wanted an emergency meeting, a recall vote to repeal every one of Barbara's new rules. For once, the anger wasn't at me. People realized I'd been put in an impossible spot. Even the other 2 board members started backing away from her decisions. They hadn't realized how bad the snow rule was until it hit them in the face or in their driveways. The emergency meeting was Friday. Packed house, people standing in the back, all of us crammed into the little clubhouse. Tom started it off. The board should make reasonable rules for everyone's safety. The snow rule, not reasonable, not safe. Wednesday was a disaster. Barbara tried to double down. I had multiple complaints. From who someone shouted, "That's confidential." How convenient, Jennifer shot back. When pressed, Barbara got defensive. I don't have to justify myself. I'm president of this board. Actually, you do, Tom said, holding up a clipboard. And if you can't, we can remove you. He'd already started a recall petition, had all the signatures needed. There was applause. You could see Barbara realize finally she'd lost the room. She tried to stall the vote, but the bylaws were clear. The board could suspend the rule with a unanimous vote of the 3 present members. She voted no, so Tom moved forward with the recall. Barbara grabbed her coat, muttering about property values, slammed the door, and was gone. 2 weeks later, after a proper vote, Barbara was officially out. She lasted 3 more days before a moving truck showed up. By Sunday, she was gone. New board president, new rules. Snow plowing allowed whenever it's needed, a little budget set aside for me as the official snow removal guy. They even chipped in for a new snowblower. That winter was smooth sailing. People baked me cookies, dropped off coffee, waved as I worked. Neighborhood felt like a neighborhood again. Of course, Barbara couldn't let it go. In March, I got a letter from a lawyer. She was suing me for harassment for forcing her out, for, I kid you not, creating a hostile living environment. She wanted 50 grand. Tom got a real attorney involved. She laughed it off. She's got nothing. Just keep your documentation. The judge dismissed it. The ruling even said bluntly that Barbara had created her own problems. A few months later, I'm grilling burgers and 2 police cars pull up. Barbara from Colorado had filed a police report saying I was stalking her, sending threats. The officers were decent, just asked for my phone and computer, checked everything, found nothing. Apparently, she'd even been mailing threatening letters to herself and blaming me. Cops in Colorado figured it out handwriting fake return addresses, security footage. She got charged with filing a false report, had to pay a fine, probation counseling, and a big court-ordered no contact with me or anyone in the neighborhood. And then that was it. Tom was a great president, actually listened to people, fixed what needed fixing, let everything else be. Neighborhood parties came back. Snow got cleared, peace returned. We got new neighbors in Barbara's old place. Lisa and David. Good folks, 2 little kids and a golden retriever. David even joined my snow removal crew. He'd do driveways, I'd do the street, and we'd talk about life, pizza, whatever came up at 5 in the morning. A year or so later, I got a letter from Barbara, handwritten, part of her therapy. She apologized, said she had control issues, admitted the rule was selfish, the lawsuit vindictive, the police reports criminal. She didn't ask for forgiveness, just wanted me to know she understood the harm she'd done. I read it, filed it away, moved on. I hoped honestly she found some peace. The saga faded to legend, a cautionary tale for new neighbors about why rules have to make sense, why boards need to actually listen. Every year at the annual meeting, someone proposes something new and someone else always says, "Remember Barbara." Usually that's enough. A couple years later, I ran into her at the grocery store. Didn't even recognize her at first. Different hair, looked smaller, quieter. She walked over, apologized again. Told me therapy and medication were helping. Her dad was sick and she was back in Vermont to help. She wasn't making excuses, just trying to do better. I wished her well. She walked away and that was that. Life rolls on. Winters come and go. I'm still here plowing at 5 in the morning, coffee in hand, neighbors waving. The HOA sticks to common sense. Kids play in the street, nobody calls the cops. Tom moved to Boston, but he still checks in. Marcus is the unofficial party planner. The Chambers family are good friends. It's a real community now, messy, sometimes frustrating, but fair. You know the funny thing? If I just caved, paid the fine, and kept plowing, none of this would have changed. Sometimes you have to let people feel the consequences of bad decisions before anything gets better. That one miserable morning united 30 households, toppled a tyrant, and brought us together. I learned maybe the hard way that being a good neighbor isn't about following rules blindly. It's about caring, speaking up, doing the right thing even when it's uncomfortable. And hey, if you ever find yourself on the wrong side of an HOA war, just remember sometimes the best way to fix a mess is to let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, and see who's left standing when the storm clears. So let me ask you, have you ever watched a little rule turn into a neighborhood disaster? Where do you draw the line between order and overreach? I'd love to hear how you'd handle it, or your own HOA horror stories if you've got them. Maybe together we'll figure out what community is really supposed to mean.